Hello friends, thank you so much for coming to our channel. Um, as it is said, first impression is the last impression. In this video, we will see how to write an appealing email to professor to get supervision consent for master's or PhD or research-based position. This email should be very concise with only relevant information and with highlights. For example, we will give it subject like thesis based Meng student application. Objective is clear and subject is not too long. Next will follow dear Professor XYZ, find from university website. Here, do one thing. Give a favor to yourself. Do not contact more than one professor at a time from same university or same department. What happens most of the time, obviously they are colleagues of each other. They go out for tea and coffee. Even here it happened like when I was in masters, during master, I noticed that professors have been going off break time, like in form of groups, like 4 or 5 professors, 6 professors, like from adjacent, from same department, going together for coffee or tea, and they discuss everything. They discuss about trend of students, what is quality of research, and from where most of students are reaching out to them. And at the same time, if you reached out to more than one professor and one professor quoted that, oh, I have been contacted by one student from this XYZ country, and second professor also received the same email, you have lost both opportunities to reach both professors. Wait for response from one professor. If that professor accepts, well and good. If doesn't accept, then reach out to second professor. Now we will complete body of our email. For example, I have a bachelor degree in electrical engineering from University of complete university, and highlight university, make it bold. We'll see which components have to make bold. With CGPA 0.4, if I'll give suggestion, like if you have more than 3.5, it's better to include that, and if it's below that, then it's better not to include that. In last, 1 second. Overall, or if you have higher CGPA in final 2 years and lower in first 2 years, then you can include in both way, like in last 2 years, 2 years, and overall, let's say 3.78. That's it. And include only CGPA again if it is above 3.5 overall. And in next line, state what is the objective. I want to pursue my master it's pursue masters leading to PhD. Even if you are doing only going to do master, not master leading to PhD, showing interest in master leading to PhD is a positive thing. If you liked, well and good. If everything goes well, then you will be doing that master leading to PhD. Otherwise, after master's degree, goodbye to professor and university. From the University of Gain, complete university name. It should be obviously the same university in which you want to apply, or under where that professor is teaching, under your supervision, if you kindly give me a chance. Before sending email, you should also go through the profile of professor from university website, and find most of the professors have given their areas of research, and relate your research interest with the research areas of that professor. For example, this professor has interest in research areas of power system protection, high voltage engineering, or power electronics, and we will include those. My field of interest is, my fields of interest are power system protection, high voltage engineering, and power electronic. And even most of the time professors have given like the list of their fresh graduate students, their thesis subjects, thesis titles, are their publications, research papers. They can be very helpful to determine what are the research areas of that professor. That's also a good thing to look at. Most of the professors have given that list on their website. Key highlights of my profile are as below. If you have research papers, this is time to include that. Let's say to conference papers in this conference, to journal articles in this. If you have taken GRE or IELTS or TOEFL, that score here, provided that's above, like same way. Like if your GRE percentile is around 94 or higher, then it's better to include. If your IELTS is around 7 or higher overall, then it's better to include. If below, skip that. And if you find that like your previous conference paper or journal article that is exactly in the research area of that professor, then instead of increasing these bullet lines, you can include here like direct your research article or paper title, for example. Let's say, and do include its conference number or DOI number. So if professor is interested to look into that, can verify that. Once these highlights should not be more than, up to 3 are reasonable. If we exceed that, also makes it like long list, and that will not be that attractive. And at the end, just close it. I have also attached my CV and transcript for reference. Kindly have a glance at these. Your favorable response will be much appreciated. Oops. Oops. Thanks. And do attach your CV and transcript. Again, if your CGPA is like above that 3.5, then it's better to attach that. Otherwise, only CV will be enough. And then I will also make next video on how to write a CV, because here in Canada, it's completely different format. Like I have seen in South Asia, we do include even sometimes gender, nationality, date of birth, photo, and many other things, which are almost unacceptable here. Even if somebody includes those, that kind of resume is discouraged. That has least chances for selection. If you don't hear, like, don't send reminder email right on the second day or third day. Better is like to wait for 5-6 days. If for 7-8 days you don't, for working 7 to 8 working days, you don't hear back, then it's better to send a reminder email on the same email. Let's say it should be dear Professor Swayze. Reminder email should not be longer than 2 or 3 lines. I hope you are fine and in good spirits. I hope you have had a chance to look at my CV and transcript. If you don't mind, may I follow up on that request for supervision? And thanks. In first couple of emails, you should not include your funding, that you need funding from that. Like, and the second thing, like, don't be discouraged. If you don't hear back from one professor, don't be discouraged. When I applied for the position, I contacted more than 29 professors. Out of 22 professors gave me rejection email, like either they don't have enough funding, or they are not accepting master student altogether. They are only having PhD students, like that kind of. But still, that is also a positive thing, that you are getting some response. More than 90% people don't hear back because of body of email, because of the attachments. Like, sometimes their emails are too lengthy, or that is, emails are not that interesting, due to which they don't get response. And second thing, even if one professor doesn't says that he doesn't have funding, or he is not accepting master student, don't be discouraged. I will give you my example. I reached out to professor in it was November 2016 maybe, and professor flatly said that he doesn't have funding. That's it. After third reminder, like first email, second reminder, that was second email, first reminder, third email, second reminder. After overall third email, professor replied and told me that he doesn't have funding. But I continued to browse his profile, his research areas, try to relate my profile with that professor's fields of interest, and showed my his research areas, and try to align my fields of interest with with his research areas. And ultimately, I reached again in January and explained that. Again, I wrote very simplified email, explaining situation that I have been looking for scholarship options, but there are not much. It's covered this much. Um, I will be like I can contribute in this research area or in this ongoing research project. And when I reached him in January with this explanation, then he gave me opportunity. So even if you hear rejection or negative email response on your first reach, don't be discouraged. Wait and continue. Wait and continue. That is the objective. Um, and there is other thing which I want to include, that prefer not to send email on Monday to Friday, because if you are sending email on Friday, professor receives number of emails, that will be deep down under other emails. High likely will not open that email. Same is on Monday. On Monday, it's first working day and they are mostly busy. And they receive too many emails, might have received on weekend, and it also has high probability that your email will not be noticed. So avoid from sending any kind of email from Monday to Friday to Monday. Send from Tuesday to Thursday. And second is like second point we have already discussed. Don't start discussing funding in first email. But if you have already have funding or scholarship from any other agency, then yes, you can include that I have this much funding. I have funding from this source, and then I want to pursue my master's under your supervision. That is a plus point, and then you should include that here in second sentence. Here should be I have funding blah 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 blah, and you can include that. And keep communication with only one professor from one university at a time. In next video we will see how to write a CV to reach out for either job or for research position. Thank you so much for coming to our channel and watching the video. All the best.